Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is Yurok and welcome back to some Farming Simulator 25 here on the Sobowelo map. And we did in our last episode, our stream, we Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is Yurok and welcome back to bought our own property and a seeder. So we're going to be starting off getting that field ready and getting it planted, and then we'll try to do some contracts after that. But if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification bell, and also don't forget to leave comments in the chat as you're watching. And if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to leave comments down below. All that stuff for you is free, and it's the best way to help the channel grow. But anyway, we're getting loaded in here, and we're going to get started and do a little bit of our own farming, and then we'll do some stuff for other farmers via contracts and try to make up some more money so we can start saving up for a harvester, a header, a trailer, and a lime spreader, and then more land as well. But we are going to be sticking with grain crops for a while because that's all we're going to be able to harvest. And yay, it's raining, but that doesn't matter for planting. So. Alright, let's go ahead and get in our tractor. We're going to go ahead and fertilize our field here. Don't need the map up right now. Can't quite cover the whole field, but we'll get most of it. Come back down and get the rest. Before we hook up to the plow, we'll go ahead and fill ourselves up with diesel. And we'll go ahead and fill our fertilizer spreader back up too. Plowed up. That's the real spot. I'll go back and get that. This off. Grab our cedar. And we're planting the only thing we can, oats. Now, ideally, I would like to get another piece of property before April's done so we can plant some rice. Let's go ahead and turn our steering assist on. Alright, and then we are selected on oats, so let's lower this down, turn it on, and get to planting. So we are sowing our oats. That's the old expression goes, but we're literally sowing oats. We are planting our first field that belongs to us. We are planting in the rain. Hello, Din Din. How are you doing? Welcome in. We're planting our first field that belongs to us. Planting oats because that's the only thing we can plant right now. Yep. Yeah, so we purchased at the end of last month. We purchased this small cedar and this piece of property. So we are putting oats in because that's the only thing we can plant in March that we can actually do anything with. You know, of course, we still have to buy a harvester, but we've got until like August, I think, to do that, or July or somewhere in there. So we have several months to get a harvester, but we do own this field. It's not a very big field, but it is our field. And I am going to try my best to purchase something we can use the oats in. Like I think there's a windmill mod that I have that will make flour out of oats. That way we're actually getting something out of it instead of just selling it outright, because we can't store anything except for stuff to make feed for animals. We have to sell everything every month if it can't be used in our production buildings. So we're going to try to maximize everything that we can, though. But that's where we are. We're going to be doing more contracts because we only have one field, so this field's not going to make us any money for a while, so we'll have to do contracts to. And our production buildings will make us a little bit of stuff too. So we'll have a little bit of extra money coming in. But the focus now is saving up for a harvester, and also I'd like to get a lime spreader before the harvester if we can. There is a small lime spreader that I'm looking at getting, but if we can get the bigger one, I will, because I'd rather have the big one because of how long it takes, or how much lime it takes to lime a field. Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think ahead, and and it really just depends on how many contracts we can get and do between now and when we have to harvest. There are several things I want to do before then, which is obviously we've got to save up for the harvester because you can't harvest without that. But I also want to build a windmill and purchase another piece of land, and also get a lime spreader if I can. So this field won't have the lime on it, but hopefully the next field we get will be able to put lime on it. Unless we can get the lime spreader this month, which, like I said, depends on how many contracts we can get done. But we can do planting contracts now, so seeding contracts. So that is a bonus for us. It gives us another type of contract we can do. But yep, it's nice to be working in our own field for a little bit of time here. And like I said, I hope to be purchasing another field. I would like to get the next field over, but it's already got something planted in it. Let's see what crop is in that field. Yeah, it's got looks like grass in it. Yeah, it wouldn't be bad to have that grass field, but I don't have mowers, and I don't want to buy mowers just yet. They're expensive. It's going to cost about $100,000 to get the mowers that I want to use. So not really in our plan just yet. So we may purchase either this field right beside us or the one over in front of that factory there. But we'll just have to see how much money we can make and how fast we can progress through that. But that's our current plan. I really do want to get the windmill before, and I don't think that'll be a problem. We should be able to get a lot of contracts in the next few months. And maybe even in this month we'll have a few. contracts we can do. I'm not looking at them right now until we get our field done, but this should put the second stage of fertilizer on our field as well. So the only other thing we would be able to do this field is roll it, and I'm not buying a roller. I hate rolling. It's my least favorite thing in the game. It's time consuming, and it only gives you like 2% yield. Now the lime would be ideal if we can get the lime spreader before the end of this month and lime this field, because as long as it hadn't grown, you can still put lime down and it will count. So hopefully we can get a lime spreader this month and put lime down so we can get the best yield that we can get. Like I said, the rolling would give us an extra 2%, but 2% is not that much. It's not worth it to me to have to buy another piece of equipment, add another step. Now, not saying it's not good to do, it is, especially on big fields. But big fields also take a very long time to roll. And right now we have the one tractor, so I don't have a worker I could put on it. So, because we're going to be using the tractor. Now, when I get a second tractor, I may think about getting a roller, but as of right now, it's not. Have you ever tried making good money off grass or grass silage? I have. You can make good money off grass silage, but to me, it's a little bit easy. Now, in hard economy, which I'm playing in hard economy, grass or silage bales aren't worth very much. It would take a lot of grass to make a lot of money, but you can make a lot of money off silage. Silage is a good money maker in the game, and I've done it in the past. I'm just, for this particular playthrough, I'm playing where I can't store anything from month to month, and silage bales you have to keep for a couple of months. So I do appreciate that very much. Yeah, it's hard getting to 1,000. I've gotten pretty good. I've been doing this for 9 months, and I'm at well over 200 subscribers now. I've had some other channels helping me out though. One of the games I stream, Yard Sale Simulator, I was making videos for it, but I started streaming it today. The dev and his wife, they both work on the game. One of them's the programmer, and I think she's the programmer and he's the artist. But they added me to their community and got me some love coming to my channel, so I started streaming the game instead of just making videos for it. But yeah, I play games I like. I don't do the most popular game at the time type thing. Now there will be some of those games that are very popular that I'll play. I know in September, a game that I'm definitely going to play, September 30th, a new Final Fantasy Tactics is coming out, and that is one of my favorite all-time games. I love all the Final Fantasy games, but Final Fantasy Tactics was one of my favorite games back on old PlayStation and the very first PlayStation, and I have been looking for one to come to Steam, and I will definitely be putting that. So I will be having different types of games. Another game that I'm going to start streaming this week is The Infected, which is a survival game. It's a single player game. I don't normally play single player survival, but that one's not nearly as complicated as most survival games are. So I'm going to be playing that starting on Saturday. But like I said, I play games I like. I don't really care about the popularity so much as I do. If I don't enjoy playing it, I'm not going to have fun streaming it or making videos of it. So that's what I do. But I do appreciate that. And I will return the favor and subscribe to your channel as well. Alright, well, we are almost done planting our field. We'll check it out and make sure it did get that second stage of fertilizer. If it didn't, it should have, because I'm using fertilizer. But if it didn't, I'll have to go back and fertilize it next month. Alright, let's go ahead and turn that off, raise it up. Alright, let's check real quick on our field here. and it did get both stages of fertilizer, so perfect. Alright, now let's go into contracts, and since we're already hooked up to the seeder, if we have any planting contracts, there is a fertilizing and a plowing contract. So right now that's the only two contracts we can do. Oh, no, here's some sowing. Let's see, grass. Can't do cotton. Can I do spinach? Yes. Okay, so there are some contracts we can do. We'll go ahead and accept all those. Alright, so this one is spinach. And this one is grass. And this one is fertilizing. And this one is plowing. Alright, now one thing I am going to do, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to unload our fertilizer out of here because I don't want to waste it. I don't remember how. Oh yeah, Alright. So we unloaded it. We will pick the seed back up, but we're not going to pick the fertilizer back up. And then we'll top off with seed. Fill that back up. Alright, now let's go top off with seed, and we'll go plant the spinach field first, since that's what I have selected. No, I don't want fertilizer. Alright, close. It's gonna make me do it in it. Oh, there we go. Alright. Alright, now which field was it that was spinach? Field 126. Alright. Let's go plant us a field for somebody else. Now, I may have to get more seed, and if I need more seed, I will just come to the store and get it instead of driving all the way back to the farm. That is the exception of purchasing things. We can only purchase stuff that can be bought at the store, like fertilizer, seed, stuff like that. We're not going to be buying anything else from the store. If we buy it, we'll purchase it from our own thing. And we'll have to have a trailer to do that, other than like seed and fertilizer that can go straight into our machines. But we're going to go get 126 done. It's probably going to take a while. Looks like it's a pretty decent sized field. But it's all money, and I think doing all these contracts alone will allow us to get our lime spreader. So we'll be able to do that before the end of the month and go ahead and lime our field. So alright, so 126 is right down this way. This is 124, so 126 is this field over here. I think that has been lined. Quite sure. field numbers kind of run together on this map, but I do like the map. Let's just make sure that we are in field 26. We are. Alright, let's go ahead and turn our lines on. Okay, it's not giving it. There we go. And we are selected on spinach, which is the right crop. So let's just turn that on, we'll lower it down, and we will start planting. Alright, so So now we are planting spinach for somebody. You guys, welcome into the stream. Feel free to chat if you're watching. Consider hitting those buttons if you enjoy what you're seeing. We have just planted our first field that we own. Now we're doing contracts to try to get us a lime spreader and possibly a second field. I'd like to get another field that doesn't have a crop in it, but I'm only purchasing on the right hand side of the map there from where our farm is at 46 there. I'm only purchasing down to like where 63 and 69 are. I'm going to purchase all those fields. I want to keep my farm together. I'm not going to just go for the cheapest fields and have stuff all over the place. Now I may branch out past that, but that's kind of where I want to stay in that quadrant for our own stuff for right now. But we will possibly purchase other fields as well. But I'm not going to be purchasing fields all over the map just because they're cheaper. We're going to try to keep them all together. Just because it makes it easier for working your fields when it comes that time. But we won't be doing contracts forever. I did make a rule that after we buy our second piece of property, we can only do 5 contracts per month. Doesn't matter what the contracts are, but we can only do 5. And then even with workers, I mean, it's just 5 contracts total, whether I do them or a worker does them. But and then once we get to 6 fields, it's down to 1 contract a month, which just to help boost our income a little bit. But we're nowhere near having 6 fields, and that doesn't mean we're just going to do contracts. I mean, I'm going to do contracts till we have the equipment we need, and then we may just pick out a few contracts. We don't have to do all the contracts. I'm just trying to. I hate it when it does that. Hate it when it switches fields like that. But that's just part of this map because the fields are so close together. But we'll do our best here. Now I could. Hit OK again. See if it changes. Yes, it did. Alright, cool. But that's what we're doing. We're stuck to doing contracts right now, so if we didn't do contracts, we'd pretty much be selling 2 or 3 pallets, skipping months, and then we wouldn't be able to purchase anything because we wouldn't have enough money. So at the beginning of the series, we're going to be having to utilize contracts, but I'm hoping by July of this year in game that we can cut that down to a bare minimum. At least that's the plan anyway. But we did purchase this cedar, so we're going to use it to make us some money. Now, I would love to actually... I'm not going to do it until I have another tractor, because I'm not going to be just buying equipment to do more contracts. But I do want to get a hoe for contracts, because hoeing contracts are something I can put a worker on and they pay pretty decent. So I would probably at some point get a hoe, but not right now. I'm not going to just buy more equipment. We have 4 pieces of equipment we can do contracts with right now, so we're going to try to stick to that for now. So we can do anything that takes a cedar. Like right now we have one for spinach and one for grass we can plant. And then we have plowing, fertilizing, and cultivating that we can do. We probably won't see too much cultivating this time of year. Maybe toward the summer we might, when other things have been harvested. But we're going to do whatever contracts we can. I can turn this off now, and we can decrease the map for a little bit. But that's the struggle of starting out from nothing. Like I said, when we started this series, we had a tractor and a fertilizer spreader and 4 pallets of fertilizer and 0 money, and that's how we've made everything that we've gotten from doing contracts. But we're playing on hard economy, so the contracts don't pay as good as they do in the base game at normal or easy. I don't play on easy. I do play on normal sometimes, depending on what challenge I'm doing. Like survival challenges, I usually do on normal instead of hard. But this is not really a survival challenge. It's a kind of rags to riches challenge, I guess you could say. Survival challenges usually start off with a small tractor, a chainsaw, and a trailer to put wood on, and you have land that has wood, and you sell wood until you can make money to buy other things. But we're not doing that right now. We are just doing a build a farm from scratch type thing. So let's go ahead and try to get that little bit we missed. Alright, that's close enough. Alright, let's go ahead and get on this line. And then we'll start going up and down once we make this complete lap, to give us room to turn around mainly. It did it again. Alright, let's get centered. But I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm having a good day. Playing some Farming Simulator 25. Yeah, I do play on PC. I'm disabled and lost partial use of my arm, my right arm, so and my right leg below the knee, and I can't really grip controllers anymore, so I have to play with keyboard and mouse. So yeah, I don't have a console. Because of the whole not being able to grip things with yeah, I mean it's this game's really good on console as well. I have a few friends that play it on console. I just can't grip the controller. So I had an infection getting my arm about it's been about a year, well, January of 24, and I almost lost my arm, but they were able to figure out what was going on and had to have surgery, emergency surgery on it, and I lost about 20% use of my right hand. So I don't have grip strength in it anymore. I can only grip very light items with it now. But and then I lost my leg almost 4 years ago, or actually has been 4 years now. In June 29th. Oh, it's all good, man. God's been good to me, dude. I don't complain. There are people far worse off than I am. I mean, look at me. I get to play video games all day and have fun doing it. Get to meet new people, and I don't look at things negatively, man. I look at everything positive. As I said, people far worse off than I have been or will ever be. So, yeah, I was really worried when they told me I might lose use of my right hand, because I'm like, that is my only sanity, is being able to play video games, because I'm stuck at home 95% of the time. Like, I go shopping a few times, I go to doctor's appointments, I go to visit my mom, I go to church, and that's pretty much, with an occasional, we go out to eat every now and then, but I don't get out a whole lot because I have a bone disorder, and if I walk on my other foot too much, I may lose it. So the doctor only wants me taking 1,500 steps a day, and there's no guarantee, but he said that if I limit being on my foot very much, that I should be okay and not have to worry about that. So yeah, I definitely don't want to have two prosthetics. So I pretty much sit in my wheelchair at home all the time, because my wheelchair rolls up under the desk perfectly, and it is actually the most comfortable chair in my house. So I can sit in it all day and it doesn't bother me. I can sit on the couch for a couple hours and it hurts, but the wheelchair is very comfortable. So I only walk when I have to keep from doing any further damage to my body. But I mean, like I said, no big deal. I worked for 30 plus years on my feet on concrete, and that took a toll on my body. But like I said, I don't look at the negative. I look at the positive, and the positive is I still get to have a life. So, and get to do what I like doing. That's why I started the YouTube channel this year. This past year I started late October, and I love it. I love making videos. I love streaming now. I just started streaming at the end of June, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm better off now without that foot than I was with it, because it hurt constantly. Every time I stepped, it hurt. Every time I moved it, it hurt. Um, but I I am better off without that foot, because it literally hurt 24/7. Um, and every time I had to walk in a boot for like 2 years. They tried to save my foot, but I had to walk in a boot for like 2 years, and every time I put pressure down on that foot, it just hurt and shot a pain up through my leg every step. So I didn't want to go anywhere. It hurt. But now I can put my prosthetic on and walk, and it doesn't bother me. So I'm better off without it. I mean, and hey, not many people can say they lost 18 pounds in one day. Because that's what I lost when they took my leg. I lost 18 pounds. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I don't look at the negative stuff, man. God's blessed me too much to worry about that. This is a minor thing. A lot of people don't look at it that way, but I mean, I know, in the reality of things, losing, the lower part of my right leg is not life changing, really. Yeah, I did have to learn how to walk again, and I had to go through rehab and difficulties and stuff, but it's, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much. Yeah, I wore a boot for over 2 years, actually. It was close to 2.5 years that I had to wear a boot just to walk because I couldn't stand putting my foot down on the ground. But like I said, now I'm good. I can put yeah, you're right, man. I feel for people who go into depression and things like that because it's a real thing. A lot of people think it's not. And when I found out I was losing my foot, I was like, okay, well, that's going to be a challenge, learning how to walk again and all that. But I didn't get depressed about it. I didn't let it bother me. Um, I just said it's something I'll have to rise above, and I feel like I've done that, and I've done it with grace, and by the grace of God, he got me through it. And actually, a lot of people who lose limbs, they have trouble with phantom pains for years. I had phantom pains for like a week. Not even a week, really, like just a few days. And then it went away. But it does, every now and then, my foot that is missing will itch. And I will take my stump and rub it up and down on the bed. While we're in bed, my wife asked me what I'm doing. I tell her I'm scratching my foot. We always get a laugh out of that because it does, like, that phantom itch is still there sometimes, which is hilarious. But that the nerves still feel the urge to say, "Hey, I'm itching." But yeah, like I said, my life's too good, man. I don't look at it negatively at all. I was a hard worker all my life. Worked, in factories and distribution centers, and then I also worked in retail for a number of years. And I was always on my feet, and loved retail because I got to talk to people all the time. Because I'm a people person. And this is the closest thing I can get that now. I do play a lot of retail type games, shopkeep games and things like that, because it was part of my life that I really enjoyed, was dealing with customers. So I do play it, but I love Farming Simulator, American Truck Simulator, um, and like I said, there's other games I like. I do love survival games. I just don't like playing them solo because it's a big grind. But I am going to start playing The Infected. If you haven't ever watched that game, it's a fun game. Don't have a lot of experience in it, but one of my buddies that plays it and streams it, he's going to be watching and kind of helping me out on it. So that will be that'll be a fun series for me. Um, but yeah, life's just, like I said, life's too short to worry about it, man. Um, I'm 50, almost 51 years old. I've lived a good life so far and still have a good life now. And a lot of people who have gone through things similar to me don't have that. I have not played Lego Frontier. I've looked at it. I don't know. I'm limited on what I can spend on games, so I try to catch games on sale. Um, and I haven't seen that one on sale to where it was cheap enough to buy. But now, like, Final Fantasy Tactics is a $50 game, and I have already started saving money to buy that game, because I want it. And that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to games. I have a limited amount of money I allow myself to spend. Now, usually when we get our taxes back, I'll put a couple $100 in my Steam account and that actually has lasted up till now. This year, bought a lot of games because I was doing doing content. And you got to get new games. You can't just stick to the same ones all the time. But and I like playing a bunch of different games. I think I'm playing 17, 18, 19 games right now. So I'm constantly bringing new stuff to the channel. Um, but again, it's cost. But yeah, I think it would be fun. But again, I'm not big. I haven't really watched much of the Lego Fortnite. I never was a big Fortnite fan. I'm not big into PvP type situations. Um, and that's basically what Fortnite is, a big PvP battle, battle royale, whatever you want to call it. Those aren't my type of games. I played a lot of those type games when I was younger, and I just kind of got burnt out on those styles. But the Lego one does look kind of fun. I really do want to check it out a little more. Um, yeah, I know it's free. I just haven't looked into it a whole lot. I may try it out and stream it a couple of times, and if I like it, I may play it. Um, it's just not those type games usually aren't my forte, but I'm willing to try new things, and if it's something that viewers want me to do, I'll try. Free to play games are good. I know that most of those games have microtransactions where you can buy stuff, but that doesn't bother me. I did play World of Warships for years, which is free to play, but to be hugely successful in that game, you have to be really good, which I'm not, or you have to spend money, and which I did, because it was the only game I played for a while, um, and so I wasn't spending money on other games, so I spent money on it. But I might check out Lego Fortnite. Right now, my card's pretty full. I mean, I have basically I stream 3 to 4 times every day, um, and I also record videos every day, or well, put out videos every day. I only record about 3 days a week, but I'm able to do 14 videos in those 3 days. But streaming has pretty much become my new. I love streaming. Like it, I never. I guess the only way to put it is streaming is it's very therapeutic for me, especially when people are chatting and I'm able to talk with them because it just, like I said, I'm confined to the house most of the time. So when people chat and stream, it just really, makes me feel like I'm interacting with people again. Um, but yeah, I may try it. I do have a couple of games that I'm playing now that will be ending pretty soon, so I'll have spots to fill on streaming. So I may try it out and see what it's all about. I'm not opposed to it. Like I said, if I play it and I like it, I'll keep going. If I don't, I'll just move on to something else. I don't play games for, like I said, for popularity. And I know this game is popular and ATS is popular. Stardew Valley is actually my most popular game right now, and it's one of my favorite games. I have over 1,000 hours in that game. And I play, I'm not a speedrunner or anything like that. I just play casually, and I'm gonna play it until I reach perfection. And then, I may do a different type of series on Stardew Valley where I have a challenge to do. But again, I don't do any kind of speedrunning tactics or anything like that. I play the game casually. Um, and I've thought about a couple of challenging ways to play Stardew Valley because I'll whether I'm playing it on my channel or not, I will still play the game because I love it. I have played through it multiple times. But Farming Simulator is another one of those games where all you got to do to start over is pick a new map and keep going. and I like that about Farming Simulator. So you can literally do tons of different things and have fun playing it. You know, completely different on every map if you want to, which is what I try to do. I've had a survival challenge that I played for a while, and then my recording software quit recording Farming Simulator, would not capture it, and I had to go through quite a while to figure out why it wasn't doing that, but I finally got it working again, so I was excited. And as soon as I could, I immediately started streaming Farming Simulator again. Well, streaming it instead of recording it. And I'm streaming this game 3 nights a week because it's one of my favorites. ATS is 3 days a week. Everything else is once or twice a week, depending on which game it is. But I do have a couple of them that I'm nearing completion on, so I will probably be trying to look to cut those down to once a week and then add some new stuff. So I may try out Lego Fortnite and see if it's something I'll enjoy. Yeah, I've played Farming Simulator since Farm Sim 19, playing it for fun. I did have a series on Farming Simulator 22 when I first started because 25 hadn't come out quite yet, but it only lasted basically until Farm Sim 25 came out, and then I moved on to Farm Sim 25. But yeah, I've liked Farming Simulator since I started playing it. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, and like I said, if it wasn't for the fact that I can't grip controllers anymore, I would probably look into getting a console because there are other games I would love to play that are only on console, but I can't. So unless they come to PC, I'm pretty much not going to be able to play it because I would struggle with my right hand, which is where all the buttons and the you know, your triggers and stuff are. So I would struggle playing games where I can't get full use of my hand. I can only rotate my hand about 75 degrees, and gripping the controller requires you to rotate your hand, so it would really hurt, like physically hurt me to do that. So all right, let's see. Our next contract is field 114. So let's, well, I know where it is. It's right over here. And that one is grass, correct? Yes. Alright, so let's switch over to grass. Alright, we'll get over to 114. Hey, yeah, well, I mean, you know, my friend Strict9 has a channel. He's been doing videos for about 4 years. He just recently started streaming. We've done a couple of streams together, and we stream ATS with we have a VTC company, an American Truck Simulator, with another person, and we stream that one once a week. Sometimes twice a week, but, you know, we schedule once a week. And his work schedule prevents him from being able to stream as much as he would like to. But like I said, he just started streaming this past, well, a week and a half ago, sort of. But yeah, I get that. I'm trying to back this thing up. I hate backing up cedars. There we go. Alright, lower down. And let's get going. But yeah, it can be difficult managing time like that when you have a real life thing to do. But yeah, I was doing before I started streaming. I was doing like 30 to 35 videos a week. Now I'm only doing 14. I'm not saying I don't enjoy videos anymore because I do, but I do different games on videos than I stream. Like the games I stream, I don't do videos of, and the games I do videos of, I don't stream. Unless people request for me to turn one of my video series into a stream, which I have done. Like I wasn't streaming TCG Card Stop Simulator, and I have a few viewers that wanted to see me stream it. Same with Storage Hunter. I was only doing videos on those, but they have become stream games now, so I replaced them with other games. And so I kind of keep them separate. I did convert, I mean, they're the same series, I guess you could say. Um, I just changed them from doing videos to streams. But it's easier for me to keep them separate that way. Because if I'm doing videos and streams of the same game, you have to make sure your episode numbers line up or play separate playthroughs of it, and I didn't want to start over on either one of those games, so I just turned them into streams. Oh, okay, so y'all have a lot to do. Yeah, I was in the same boat when I worked, dude. Um, the last 10 to 15 years of me working, I worked for Chick-fil-A for 5 years, but I also worked as a gas station manager that had delis and stuff like that in them, and then I also worked for Dollar General as a manager. And so I know those long work weeks. Like as a gas station manager, even though I wasn't at work, I was always on the clock because I was constantly fielding phone calls and having to walk people through fixing problems, and sometimes had to get up and go at 3 o'clock in the morning to fix a gas pump because it quit working, things like that. But yeah, so I definitely respect that. There's only so many hours in a week, you know, and you can only do so much as one person, really. So I get that a lot, but I do have the time to do it, and I'm glad I'm glad that I'm not just sitting at home vegging out on TV all the time, because that would be easy to do. This gives me something constructive to do with my time, and again, allows me to meet new people. Matter of fact, real quick, let me go ahead and go to your channel and make sure I've subscribed to you. I did. I wanted to make sure that I had subscribed to you. So I did subscribe to you the other night. Yeah, I get that. I never really drove heavy equipment per se, but I did go to a Caterpillar equipment operation class back when I was working when I was in my 20s. I was working for a bag company, and they had mainly forklifts and paper. It was a paper bag company. We made all different types of bags, like sugar bags, chemical bags. And so I operated grab trucks and forklifts and yard trucks a little bit. And then we had a couple of boom trucks, and so I had to go and learn how to operate all those things. So I went to a Caterpillar class, like 12 hours. And so I learned how to drive things that I probably never will drive. Like I learned how to operate a steamroller, I learned how to operate a crane, backhoe, and things like that. but it was just a more or less an introduction to heavy equipment type class. But I also had to learn the safety features of hooking up the gas tanks and stuff like that to the forklifts and grab trucks. That was one of my responsibilities, was keeping those maintained when I worked there. Um, but I never worked on really big equipment as far as a job. I just learned how to operate some. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it now. I'd have to learn how to do it all over again because it wasn't a thing I did except for that one day. It was an all-day thing from 7 o'clock Saturday morning to 7 o'clock Saturday evening on that day. A long time ago in Jackson, Mississippi. And that's when I was living in Yazoo City, Mississippi. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or not, but that's where I went to high school and went to community college not too far from there. Then I moved to North Mississippi and went to college where I met my wife and lived in Tupelo for a while, and then New Albany and Blue Mountain as well. Went to Blue Mountain College, which is a small Christian college. Okay, so y'all do all of it, huh? Where are you from, Din Din? Okay, cool. Yeah, now me and my wife worked together briefly. I managed for Dairy Queen for a few years, and she worked alongside me there. She was just an employee, but she was my support system there, because I could always count on her. Sometimes I'd have to get her to come to work when she wasn't supposed to, and things like that. And we worked well together. But it's a benefit of your spouse being your best friend, because mine is, and we were able to work together without any problems. I know some people think that's insane to work alongside your spouse, but in my book, who better to work alongside than the person you love the most in the world, right? Okay. Oh, you're in Tennessee? Well, I'm from Memphis. That's where I grew up. Um, we moved from Memphis to Mississippi my senior year of high school, and I never left. But my wife is from Savannah, Tennessee. So, very familiar with Tennessee. I have a lot of family that live up in the Knoxville area, and some that live. My sister lives in Memphis. She is well, she technically lives in Bartlett. She works in Memphis. She's a music therapist up there. And so her and her family live there, and I have a few cousins that live in the Germantown area. Um, yeah, Tennessee is my second favorite place in the world. I really do love Mississippi. The people are super friendly here for the most part. And the only thing I don't like about Mississippi is the weather. It's always hot. So are you a Tennessee fan? Because if you are, you just became my new best friend. Yeah, they actually don't live in Knoxville anymore. They live in like Franklin or something like that. It's not far from Knoxville, I think. I'm not real sure. I've never really been up there, but once. I mean, I've been to Knoxville at a few Tennessee games, but that's been years ago. Okay. Yeah, that's a long day. Just the driving every day. You work all day and then you have to drive 2 hours when you get off. So yeah, but yeah, I've been a Tennessee fan ever since I can remember. Yeah, that makes for a long day. I can see where you struggle to have time to do anything else. I don't really watch them that much anymore either. If I can catch a Tennessee game on Netflix or something like that, I don't have cable. I don't watch enough TV to pay for that, but like every now and then on YouTube or Netflix, I can catch a game, or Paramount Plus. I can catch a game live, but I mean, yeah, I pretty much don't watch. Yeah, I pretty much don't watch it anymore. Yeah, it's not as exciting as it was when I was in my 20s. Man, they they have made the game a little less aggressive, I guess you could say. I still enjoy watching college football. I don't watch pro football at all. I quit watching pro football quite a few years back. Um, I was a Saints fan for years. Um, back I've been a Saints fan since Archie Manning was the quarterback there. So that dates me. How I'm almost 51. So when I was young, we lived in New Orleans, and I got to meet Archie Manning. I became an instant fan, and but I haven't watched pro football, and I couldn't tell you how long. Oh, I agree 100%. I enjoy watching college football. I just don't get to do it much. Okay, so I got a few years on you. You were born when I started high school, basically, because I started high school when I was 14. I turned 15. I turned 14 my freshman year. Turned 15 my sophomore year. 16 my junior year, and 17 my senior year. Graduated when I was 17. We're done with this one. Alright, let's go take. Well, let's make sure there's not any more seating contracts before we take back the cedar. Nope, just the one for cotton, and I can't do that. There is another fertilizing contract we'll go ahead and accept. And let's see, that's no more plowing. Okay. Alright, we'll go drop our cedar off and pick up the plow and fertilizer. We can carry both of those at the same time. So. Yeah, yeah, I do love watching football. I just don't get to do it as much as I would like. I'm thinking about picking up ESPN Plus this year so I can watch a few games, but with the streaming schedule I have, I still wouldn't be able to watch many. So I might occasionally cancel a stream to watch a Tennessee game, but I wouldn't do it for any others. Yeah, college football is way more exciting than NFL to me. SEC football is the best football. I don't care what anybody says. And it got even better when they added Texas and all the other schools to it. The guy on my stream. Alright, let's go ahead and drop our seeder off. We'll put the fertilizer back in when we need to. Alright, now let's see where we're going here. 133, 157, and 45. Alright, 45 is right here, so we'll do that one. Right here beside us. That is fertilizing. Okay, well, mine was in December, and where I started school was in New Orleans, and their cutoff day for going to school is December 31st instead of most places, which are September, October. And so I actually started kindergarten before I turned 4. And, 5. I started when I was 4. And then, graduated when I was 17. I didn't turn 18 until after my first semester of college was over. So. Alright, now we gotta go to 157 and 133. They're both at the bottom of the mountain, so we'll go this way. Yeah, I get that. I actually, when I was 17, I was actually, my first 2 years of college, when I was in junior college, I was teaching music in a local Christian school there. Just a few hours a week. 3 hours, 2 days a week. And that was what I was doing. And then when I turned 18, I started delivering pizza for Pizza Hut there. That was my first big job. And I did work at a Piggly Wiggly grocery store in Memphis before we moved. I worked there my sophomore and junior year of high school. But my first, I guess you could say, job as an adult was delivering pizza for Pizza Hut. Alright, so this is our fertilizing field. All right, bud. Well, I appreciate you being here. I understand that, man. You gotta make your living. Well, you have a good night, bud, and I'll check your channel out and watch some of your content, give you some watch hours and some likes. But I do hope you have a blessed night and that everything goes well for you and your wife. And have a good one. And I appreciate you stopping in and watching. Well, I'll be streaming this again Friday night. Um, Tomorrow night, I think, is TCG Card Shop Simulator at this time. But you're welcome to join me there. But I do this on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the same time. So, alright, this one is plowing, so we need to switch over. Thank you, man. Alright, so we're about through with these contracts, and then we'll collect the money on those and see if there are any more. And then maybe get us a fertilizer spreader. Or a lime spreader, technically. We already have a fertilizer spreader, but one that spreads lime. Guys, if you are watching, don't forget to comment, don't forget to hit that like button, and subscribe button. Best way to help the channel grow. We are moving along here. A couple more passes, we'll be done with this field. Will you bring me a 2-liter? Open it for me. let's go ahead and collect those. Alright, let's see if there's anything else we can do. Not right now. Alright, we'll head back home and let's see if we can get a lime spreader and afford to fill it. Check the sale, nothing we can use. Would like that baler, but alright, let's see here. Yep, we can get that, so let's go. Let's see, I don't know if I can get it with the spreading discs. New, we'll have to add that later, so we'll just go with it like that. Alright, let's get on back to the house. Pick up our lime spreader and we'll go ahead and lime our field. And we'll upgrade that later. Right now it's not necessary. We only have one field, so it's not going to take that much longer without the spreading discs or the wider hopper, bigger hopper. While we're here, we'll go ahead and fill up our greenhouses. this other production building takes water or not. I don't believe it does. It does not. Okay. Just leave that there. Let's go ahead and turn our lamps on. He's from up near Knoxville. Well, 2 hours from Knoxville anyway. He didn't tell me what town he lived in, but he works in Knoxville. Him and his wife operate heavy equipment, and they drive to Knoxville about every day and work. Alright. So now our field is the best we can get it. Park our lime spreader. Got a pallet we can sell there. Some more kimchi. Another $640. Alright, let's see if any more contracts have come up. Nothing yet. Let's go ahead and fast forward time a little bit. Go to about noon. Got another pallet coming out. Alright. This time we have a pallet of red beet soup. So $1,700. Produce. Nope. Alright, let's check contracts again.